Hello, I'm Simon. Welcome back to the workshop. This video is all about making a wood steamer, so let's get tinkering. Now, I don't really have any wood that's ideal for this, but I do have the case that my mini lathe originally came in. This is about 6mm, 1/4 of an inch ply, and it's a pretty ropey ply at that. So I'm going to take all the bits and pieces off of it and see if we can use this to make a half decent wood steamer. I seem to have broken my microphone, so sorry about the audio quality. Now I've got 2 long pieces and 3 squarish pieces, and I've got some decisions to make. I could make quite a long box using these 2 pieces for the sides and then use the square pieces for the ends. That would make the box just 1/4 of an inch thick, or I could double this up and then make a box that's a lot shorter, just the width of this piece of wood, but it could be 8 inches wide, and then use these for the ends as well. And then I could make this wood, I could laminate it so it would be double the thickness. That would make a better box. All that said, I'm not sure that this plywood is going to last very long as a steamer anyway, so I think I might try the smaller box because it'll fit the project that I've got in mind, and if it works and if I enjoy steaming, then I'll source some decent plywood, some marine ply, and make a decent box. Now, this plywood is pretty cheap and it's got a lot of bows in it, and I'm thinking I can solve the problem with the bows and make the wood a little bit thicker by just laminating the 2 boards together. So that's what I'm going to do, and I think that'll help me make a half decent steam box. Gluing the 2 larger boards together has completely flattened the board out and made it a lot more usable. Let's hope we can do something similar with these smaller boards. Now I want to cut this on the table saw, but I don't have any straight edges to put on the fence, and that would make cutting this extremely dangerous. So I'm using one of these clamping rulers as my straight edge, and I'm going to run it along the side of the table. That should give me a reference and keep everything safe. And now I have a straight edge that I can use. I'll cut this board into 200mm strips. That's just shy of 8 inches each. And I've only chosen this particular size to use up as much of the wood as possible to make the box that I'm going to make as large as I possibly can. I'll now trim the ends of these boards and then cut them in half. And I'll use the built-in stop on the mitre fence to make sure I cut them all exactly the same length. So I've got my boards. These are going to be the sides, and they're going to be set up like so. That'll create the main box, and then these will be the ends of the box, like so. You get the idea. I'm going to glue it, but also use these brackets that I've found in my hardware drawer, and then I'll glue it all up. I'm not doing anything fancy with this box because I'm not completely confident that the steam isn't going to completely ruin this plywood in any case and it just fall apart. So I'm really thinking of this as a prototype. If it gets me one steaming and I'm able to use that to actually bend some wood, then I would have learnt a lot, and I'll go on to make a better one another day. If it does last more than one, then that'll be a bonus. but it's really just to give me an idea of what you can do with steaming and how well a box made of this construction is likely to hold up, which I don't think will be very well at all, but I might be wrong. I've made a couple of feet out of an old plastic cork, and I'm going to use those to incline one end so that water can drip out of the other. And at the other end, I drill some drain holes. And at the top, I drill a little steam hole to let any excess steam out. Now this is the steam hose, and it's got a thread on here, and I really need to attach this to here somehow. And this looks like it's about M10, and you're not going to believe it, but I've actually found an M10 bolt with a hole going all the way through it. If it hadn't had a hole going all the way through it, then I would have cut the hole on my lathe, but it fits perfectly. I've added a couple of blocks of wood to the inside. They're just sitting there, and they're just to raise the piece that I want to steam. So this is just going to be a test steaming of a single piece of wood, just to see if it works or not. And the steam generator is simply one of those steam generators you use to get wallpaper off of the wall. Now I've no idea how long it needs to be in the steam box for. I'm going to leave it probably 10 minutes and just see if that works. Obviously I've got to wait for it to actually start boiling first. It's not producing any steam at the moment, so I'll count that 10 minutes from when I start seeing steam coming out of the little steam vents at the top. So I've set the timer for 10 minutes. So the back here isn't perfectly sealed, and there's some steam coming out. And obviously there's steam coming out of the hole that I've put in to let the steam out. The box itself is only lukewarm to touch, but it's only been a minute or so. I'm not sure how well the box will hold out to this treatment. We'll have to see. So while that's steaming, this is the jig I've made, and this is another piece of the same wood. And what I want to do is put that in there like that and bend that so that it's on this side. If I do that now, I can see it is going to crack here. So we'll see how well that works. I've got 3 sets of clamps to clamp it to this piece to hold it in place. And I've only got as long as the wood stays hot in order to do it. Okay, that's had its time now. So first I'm going to turn the steamer off. So you can hear that's gone off. I'm going to open this. Just take out the part, and let's see. That's certainly bent okay, and having the jig all set up worked very well. Now we'll leave it to cool down and see if it holds its shape. So this has held its shape, but I think when I'm clamping it, I do need to slightly exaggerate the shape so that it holds in the shape that I want it to hold in. This has flexed back a very small amount, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and I didn't really want that to happen. But now I know that I can compensate for it, and I should be able to make the parts that I want to make. And those parts will be the subject of a future video. If you've enjoyed this video, then please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.